Greetings, YouTube. I know that I have quite a few international subscribers, so I'm not 100% sure how prevalent the following story is going to be to you, but I'd be interested in knowing. There's a service available, at least in the United States, known as OnStar, which is available in cars. It's a little button. It's up here on your head bar, right where your rearview mirror is mounted. And it's a little blue star. And what it does is if you reach up and you push the little button, it connects you remotely through a cell phone connection, essentially, to a live operator. And depending on what kind of service package you have through OnStar, you can have different services. You can get directions, recommendations for meals or hotels. They can get you reservations in a restaurant if you have the upper end package. But they can also do things, for example, you can call them on your cell phone and say, hey, I'm locked out of my car. And once you give them the appropriate password, they can remotely unlock your car from the inside. Well, some people don't necessarily want to pay for this particular service, so they cancel their contracts. Well, it's recently been discovered that OnStar doesn't actually stop tracking you. You have to specifically tell them after you have canceled your contract that you no longer want them to be involved in your life at all. And then they will finally sever a connection with you. But if you neglect to mention that little point, they'll keep tracking your movement and then reserve the right to use that data in any way they want. For example, they can tell marketers which shopping centers you visit on a regular basis, what grocery stores you go to, which doctor offices you go to, what kind of doctors you go to. All of these things would be available to a person who wanted to buy that information from OnStar. Now, I've been opposed to OnStar for years because they track your movements. And if a court order is issued, they will hand that information over to the police, to the prosecution, so that they can tell where you have been at any given time. They can track your speed to see if you've been speeding. But worst of all, and the most egregious part of this whole OnStar technology, is that they have actually turned the mic on inside a vehicle without the permission of the vehicle owner, because they had a court order that said, we want to eavesdrop on these people. Here is the order. So why would you put a device inside your own vehicle voluntarily that would allow people to track you, know your location, your speed, listen to you, and if you cancel the contract and neglect to tell them, bugger off, they will continue to collect data on you? Why would you do that? I will never have anything to do with OnStar. If I ever buy a used vehicle, and it's very likely at some point in the future I will buy, or my wife will buy a used vehicle, I see no reason to buy a new vehicle whatsoever. You drive a new vehicle off the lot and it automatically loses 30% of its value. But I'm driving a 2006 Honda Accord and I've only got 55,000 miles on it. I will be driving this car for another 150, 200,000 miles easy because I'm going to take care of them. But any used vehicle I ever get or my wife ever gets, if there's an OnStar little button in there, I'm going to make sure it's disabled with a pair of wire cutters. There's not going to be any question that there is no connection to the outside world for that service. So I ask my viewers, is this service available in other countries outside the US? Do any of my viewers have the OnStar feature in their vehicles? Are you happy with it? Are you aware of what OnStar can do without your permission? I'm really intrigued by this. I want to know if people are comfortable with what this service offers and why.